Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. In this video, I will feature two clips from a documentary on Vladimir Putin where Putin is gonna answer some questions. And I found two answers. One was obvious to me, which is why they waited so long to react in Ukraine. And Vladimir Putin's answer is very interesting. I have to say I don't believe that the Russians or Putin were so naive. Sometimes I think and that is the partners issue. They consider these guys partners, and these guys were stabbing and in the back repeatedly. But I will let Putin tell you how he viewed the Western partners and how he changed the tactics against this civilized West. That's the first topic, and the other one, the first clip. And the other one is Putin is going to tell us how he really feels when he's dealing with problems or with people who are stabbing him in the back or are doing bad stuff. And he is using the same technique as I use, which is I'm angry all the time. I feel like punching them in the face all the time, but I don't show it. I show it whenever I want to tell the other side, back the fuck off. All right, so let's start with the second clip, which is shorter. What Putin feels, how can we stay so composed? That is personal training. You have to do that through martial arts, and obviously KGB must have trained them to do that. So this is from as I said, it's just a short clip. So let's start and see how it goes, okay? 1, 2, let me get the right button here.
You always appear very calm and composed. Do you never feel the urge to, as they say, hit someone?
Always, indeed.
Always?
I live with it, but I fight it.
So, always. Well, the same thing I feel myself. I'm not equating myself with Putin, but sometimes you see Putin's facial expression and his body language that he really would do that. And I urge you to pay attention. So he feels like always, but he keeps it down. Well, that means he's got, all right. Because obviously if he's got that because of that, and I made a little parallel between me and him, obviously I must have but a piece of shit, right? Okay, that's the first one. And the second clip is more of a substance than this one, is more substantive than this one. So I'm going to play the other one. And here it is. It's going to be 2 minutes, about 2 minutes. Let's go.
You mentioned that you would not want Russia to return to the path it was on before the year 22, as it was a path, as you said, associated with hidden, veiled intervention. So, before the year 22, did we not understand this? Or were we unable to do anything about it?
Firstly, we didn't understand some things. And secondly, we still approached our agreements with our Western partners with trust, cautiously, but still with trust. When signing the Minsk agreements, we still counted on them being adhered to. But as it turned out, we were simply deceived. They just took a pause under the pretext of needing to comply with the Minsk agreements in order to rearm Ukraine and prepare for war with Russia. This is also an experience for us. We certainly need to take this experience into account in the future. I just proceeded from the fact that if we do not rely on our traditional values, we simply will not exist. Russia will simply lose its identity. And this is extremely dangerous from the perspective of the country's future. It was clear from the early 2000s that our geopolitical adversary acts very cunningly, says one thing, but does something completely different. I also didn't understand everything right away, started conveying to my colleagues, look, you say this, but you do that. Well, for example, you not only support separatists in the Caucasus, but you support fundamentalists in the Caucasus. You yourselves call them terrorists. yet you encourage their activities. Hear and moreover support them. And here is the evidence. And I presented this evidence. They nodded their heads saying, yes, 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 all right. We will sort it out now. And nothing. And everything is exactly the opposite. This civilized world decided that Russia had weakened. That means the historical Russia, known as the Soviet Union, had collapsed, and its remaining parts needed to be finished off. And the largest of them is the Russian Federation. It also needs to be divided into 4 or 5 parts. The responsibility for the future of the country lay on me. Russia will either be independent and sovereign, or it will not exist at all. And this is what I wanted to convey to our partners, whom I referred to as colleagues back then, hoping that they would listen and somehow adjust their attitude towards Russia. But unfortunately, it was not heard. That is, they heard it all, but did not respond appropriately. Ultimately, this led to today's tragic events in the Ukrainian direction.
When you gave the order.
So, was Putin naive? They say we didn't understand everything. I don't think it was anything to miss over there. But hey, sometimes when you have mixed messages, you know, which I personally from outside obviously don't have, you have to build trust. And maybe the trust was built, therefore, Putin believed these guys with a Minsk agreement, where they did something, but they did something else. They were arming actually Ukraine. So for me, there's naivete. Besides, don't you have any intelligence coming from Ukraine to figure out that those guys are doing that, are arming them? You wait for what? From 2014, you wait until 2022 for those guys to arm them? That's, I mean, really? 8 years? Is this how much you would wait? You don't have any information? But I think they needed, the Russians also needed to prepare thoroughly. And that's what they did. So I'm not certain, regarding the partner thing. For you guys who were with me for a long time and consistently, you heard me at one point when I was very, very angry that, I mean, there should be like all the time, but anyway, not all the time, but when I was angry with Putin saying, are these guys imbeciles? If I hear Putin saying again, partners, our Western partners, when the Western partners want to pull a Gaddafi on him, he still calls them partners. I kept saying that, and then they stopped. They didn't hear me, obviously, but it happened maybe a year ago, when the Russians finally dropped the word partners to refer to the guys who are sponsoring others to you. I mean, it was obvious, and I was very upset about it. And now he says, well, we realized I referred to them as partners until... No. You were referred, I think, even 2 years in the war as partners. Even Lavrov called them partners. And I was like exasperated. Maybe not 2 years, but at least I won't tell you exactly, and not exactly. I can find the video and maybe I can just show you one of them. And here they are. Read the one on the bottom in July 20th. Putin is naive. He calls the US partners and expects reciprocity. Let me see. Reciprocity in Ukraine-Russia grain exports. So that was in 2022. And then in December 19th, 2023, that is in beginning of 2024, a year and 4 months. Video. Is Putin crazy? He calls the Americans, I played the video in that one, again with Putin, calling the Americans partners. And I said, as they tried to pull a Gaddafi on him. My friends, go and watch this one right there. This is the video. This is the video that I made in December 19th, 2023. So let's put it in January 2024. And he still called them partners? I was like exasperated. Now, it was obvious, but let's put it this way. How many times does someone, and how serious someone has to hurt you, lie to you, punch you, grab you by the balls, cheat on you, how many times and how serious the offense must be in order for you to get it? Like, man, this is not my friend. this guy or those guys really want to send me to Jesus or something. All right? How many? I mean, some people are first strike, you're my enemy. Well, some people 3 strikes, some people 1,000 strikes, and some people never. Now, in diplomacy, obviously you have to communicate and say, hey, what's going on here? Let's discuss this one. You give good signal, you receive bad signals. What are you going to do? Ask questions, clarifications. They had at least, and I'm not talking about 2014, I go even back. I go to, Putin came into power when he took power. I think it was an intelligence military coup in Russia in December 31st, 1999. It was not Yeltsin who said, I pick Putin and that's how the narrative goes. I have doubts that that's what happened. Yeltsin decided I'm gonna go to the bar and stay there and screw all of you. I'm gonna let Putin, I pick Putin out of all these guys to be my successor. I leave Putin in the good hands of the intelligence and military. I do not think that's what happened. I do not think. I mean, I think I give it 30%. The rest of 70, I give it to Putin said with his buddies, guys, come over here. We gotta do something, man. I mean, really, these guys are gonna break our country, as he said, in 4 or 5 parts. We gotta do something. CIA has offices in Moscow. They have inspectors in our nuclear sites. We don't have KGB there. We don't have our inspectors inspecting their weapons, nuclear sites. We got to do something. Call that guy here. Yeltsin, you're out. Make sure the vodka is good one, man. I think that's what happened. And then they got rid of Berezovsky and all these so-called oligarchs who are of a certain kind of descent. Anyway, here it is. I don't think they were so in 2000, let's put it 1999, in 2000, when he took over, he was really in charge. Little by little, he consolidated his power. Didn't you get the first message, the memo from NATO, they will get you, by their actions then, including the expansion of NATO? By 2000, there already was one expansion of NATO, if I believe. I think it was Poland, and if not, while he was in the office. Yeah, it was one expansion. It already was one or maybe 2 already. When Poland, Czechoslovakia, Czech Republic, Slovakia, and I think the Baltics got in. Those were the first. Didn't he get it? Then that those guys lied, big lie. We're not gonna move 1 inch towards the east if you agree with the unification of Germany. That would be, I don't know, like I open a door in my bedroom when I come from work and I find my woman with 3 other guys over there. What do you think I'm gonna do? This is strike 1, baby doll. Make sure you clean up, guys. Did you wear a condom? Oh, okay. I'm not gonna do that, all right? But it's strike 1. That's the level of the strike 1 NATO did when they expanded NATO the first time. And then you find them again, and you find with other guys, you open the door, and again in your bedroom is your woman with other guys. And again, how many times, how many expansions they had, and they promise you, she says, I'm going to do it again. And you say, okay, all right, I'm next to you, and now I'm going to come and do it all over the place. Not only in the bedroom, on the kitchen table, on the floor, by the fireplace, in your car. And you say, oh, it's okay. No, you go ballistic, I tell you. Or you just say, first time it happens, okay, see you never, see you in court. And that's it. But that's what I would do, I think. Because it's one thing, I wasn't in that situation, so. But sometimes we play like we're going to do it, and when that happens, stay. No, it won't be smack. Okay, so. Again, he knew that, and he waited. How many slaps do you need, Putin? He needed until to what? 2021, when they dared to show up in front of NATO and say, these are our demands, please talk to us, let's talk, let's have some understanding in Ukraine. That's when you already know your troops are your people are up in Ukraine by those guys with the help of those guys. You already know that. Is this naivete? So I don't buy this one. He knew all of that, unless it's weakness. You can't have, he was something else, something else. Oh, I would like to hear what you think about that. Don't criticize me. This is just I mean, you can criticize me. I mean, free world, I'm for that. But take into consideration, this is one assessment, one view, one angle of what, okay? Might be more information on this. Maybe my interpretation is wrong. Maybe my connection, my connecting the dots is not accurate, and so on. But nevertheless, he calls those guys as the... All right. And regarding getting angry and feeling too... thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.